But I got the dreaded last speech of the afternoon before some frozen custard. So can we have a little fun for about 20 minutes, guys? All right, awesome. Man, this is like a day of tributes. I feel like I'm home at Thanksgiving. I do a lot of conferences. I speak a lot, and I've never been in a room where I feel like everybody is truly like this brotherhood and sisterhood of family. It's so cool. And I got to give a quick thanks, even though I hired Will when he was just a young lad in his first job out of college. I taught him very few things, but I do owe him a huge debt. And I'll tell you a quick story. One day, I was on the subway, half asleep, 8:30 in the morning, going to work, and I see this beautiful girl. And man, she's beautiful, and I'm just struck. But I'm pretty mediocre looking on my best day. She gets off, I get off. She didn't notice me. Gone, never to be seen again. That day, I'm working the door at Tabla, and Will's by my side. The girl comes walking in. That day at lunch, Will, I saw this girl on the subway. And he's like, dude, you gotta talk to her. A year later, I married her. 3 kids, 10 years coming up. So on those bad nights, my wife blames you. So thank you. I'm going to tell you the story of Shake Shack today, guys. I'm not an advice giver. I don't really know any other way to tell you what we do other than to tell you how it happened. And I think a series of really awesome decisions, a series of horrible decisions, and a lot of naivete and luck has led us to literally today in Dumbo opening our 47th restaurant that nobody ever dreamed. If you take nothing else out of my time today, the one thing I want to tell you that I think we did, and we try to do every day, we do what everybody else is unwilling or unable to do. That's it. Just take a look around and look at what everybody else doesn't want to do and do it. And that's what we try to do at Shake Shack every day, and we've continued to do that. So I'm going to tell you a little story about last week that got a little crazy. I'm the first guy with slides, so I'm a visual guy. We celebrated our 10th birthday last Thursday, and we sat around and we had this idea, how are we going to do this? Everybody's going to throw a grand party. It's going to be awesome. And we sat around and we're like, you know what? That's not us. Let's just do this really chill thing. We'll call a couple of our friends who are chefs and see if they would work with us on a burger. And we called some people, and they said yes. And then the next one said yes, and then the next one said yes. And Shack madness ensued last week. And anybody who was anywhere near that park last week saw, don't worry, Daniel Hume, we know you had the longest line that day. David Chang tried to claim longest line, and up until Thursday, he had it. But what happened was absolutely astounding and blew our minds time and time again. We could not believe what happened last week. And just some of the images of our time out there. I mean, we got Danielle Boulou cooking burgers at Shake Shack. We got David Chang in full sprint running down a line of 700 people who waited 6 hours for a shrimp stack Shack burger. This is what happens when they're fighting at night, those two. So you got Andrew Zimmern comes in from Minneapolis with a goat burger, and our marketing team is like, dude, goat burger, not going to sell. 4-hour line for the goat burger. April Bloomfield and Dominique Ansel making the birthday cake. But you know what the coolest moment of the time was? Was this right here. Out of nowhere, Gadara and his band of merry men from EMP get out with the cart, and they roll into Madison Square Park, and they completely illegally start handing out champagne. And my team, we're like a big corporate bunch of guys. We have 47 restaurants. We got to be careful. So my team's like, it's illegal. Oh, my God, shut it down. And Will and I are like, don't worry about it. Because Will is willing to do what everybody else is unwilling or unable to do. That was the moment of the week. 400 people got free champagne and walked away saying, this is absolutely ridiculous. And we love it. That's what we've been trying to do. I do want to show you a quick video, and this is last year in London. I want to show you how we open a restaurant. When we think about a Shack, each time, it sounds like we have a lot of them, but each time it's like it's the first one. And this is a little video for 2 minutes about that. This is our opening in London last summer. Joint selling $4 burgers that feels like that. That's what we're trying to do. But it wasn't always that way. So let me tell you the story of how we got here, very much by accident. Only when Danny is not in the audience am I allowed to show this picture. He gets so pissed. 1985, Rita, Charles, every great restaurant in New York had a le or a la in front of it. It was a different time, right? It was. And Danny opened Union Square Cafe and changed so many things about the industry that we all know and love today. Fast forward through the number of restaurants that we open, and we do 11 Madison Park and Tabla in 1999. On a park, and this is not the 70s, this is the year 2000, Madison Square Park was not a nice place. I ran Tabla, we would walk around it at night. There were rats and homeless, and it was not a nice place. And as every great neighborhood turnaround does, it happens with art, and it happens with an art project. The artist's idea was called I Love Taxi. And he put taxis on stilts, and he said, as part of my project, I want a hot dog cart. Will you guys do it? And inside the kitchen, private dining kitchen of 11 Madison Park, we start cooking Vienna beef hot dogs in a court bouillon, and we're making chipwich sandwiches, and we're doing things the way we do things, and all of a sudden, 50 people line up for the hot dog cart, 100 people line up for the hot dog cart. It's absolutely crazy. And we do that for 3 years, and every penny goes to the park. Then the park and the city decide it's time to do an RFP. Let's make this little hot dog cart a permanent kiosk. And Danny Meyer sits down and pens the back of the scratch paper what he thought Shake Shack should be. And you think some of the names he thought it should be at the top, the Frosty Shake, thank God he didn't choose that one. Custard's First Stand. You look in my office today, this hangs on my wall as a reminder of everything we set out to be and everything we should never veer too far from. And we asked ourselves, as anyone in the Danny Meyer organization knows, we asked ourselves, whoever wrote the rule, it needs to act this way. And if fast food, take it back 60 years, it was pretty damn good. Fast food was fresh. It was a place to hang out. It was always your community gathering place. And it was really good. And you know what they said? They turned it into this. The best thing you could do for our business of fast food is don't even come in. Welcome. So we said, well, let's just change everything about that, right? Why can't it be fresh burgers and whole cuts of meat and really premium, really good, cooked to order? Why can't we spin our shakes by hand, scoop them out by hand, make the ice cream fresh all day, every day? When we build a restaurant, and if everybody else's idea is a big bunch of dust in a neighborhood and a big ugly plywood, we said, why can't we in downtown Center City, Philadelphia, build a green wall, and for 4 months during our construction, have the community love what we're doing instead of hate what we're doing. And on opening day, come out like that. When we went to Brooklyn, you don't want to screw up Brooklyn. Our team went out one night. We had hired an artist, and we wrote, "Before I die, I want to," hundreds of times. Left chalk out there. The next morning, it looked like that. For weeks leading up to our opening, instead of us parachuting our values into your neighborhood, we said, Brooklyn, here's a place to share your dreams. And you know what got written? Things like, before I die, I want to find God. Before I die, I want to see my brother get sober. It's not that hard to just do what everybody else is unwilling or unable to do. And that was Brooklyn. When you make chocolate, everyone else is going to go out and just get some corn syrup and make a little chocolate sauce. We're going to call the Mass Brothers and see if they'll make our chocolate bars for us. And they did. When you're going to choose how you're going to pay people, you're going to pay them well or not. You're going to do what everyone else is willing or able to do. So we decided to pay our people more and offer them a 401k and health insurance and things that change the life of that worker. And best of all, we're going to graduate people who started making $8, $9, $10 an hour, making six figures running Shake Shacks. And when you do that stuff, certain people take notice sometimes. The community magnet, the gathering place where people come together. That's what we created, again, a lot by accident. And here we are. And some of the things, the decisions that we made over the years, this is our theater district. I'll never forget, this was the third restaurant in New York. And I came to Danny and I said, Dan, I got a great idea. 8th Avenue, our neighbor's a strip club. It's going to be awesome. Big, glassy, new tower. Feels a lot like Shake Shack, right? And we had these big debates. We did it. #1 Shake Shack in the world right there. In the suburbs, whoever thought us cool urban people could go to the suburbs and do something cool? Long Island. And when we built it, we said, well, what's everybody else do? Big, ugly, concrete boxes. So what are we going to do? We're going to design something that's never been looked like before for $4 burgers. And we're going to build a solar roof. 10% of the energy of the restaurant's going to come straight from that roof. And we're going to change what it means to have a restaurant in the burbs. Who knows where that one is? Not if you work for Shake Shack. Anyone got a guess? Good guess, Kuwait. One day, again, the story comes alive again. Sitting in 11 Madison Park in the front, a man named Muhammad Al-Shaya comes to us and says, we had just opened the second Shake Shack. We didn't know anything about anything. He comes and says, this is special. Come to Kuwait. And we're like, yeah, okay, come to Kuwait. And out of pure intellectual curiosity, we got on a plane and witnessed Western brands there run better than they are here. Today, 21 of our 47 restaurants are not in this country. And this is the second one in the most amazing mall in Kuwait. And you would not believe how good it feels. Istanbul. We just opened our 4th Shack in Istanbul. If you saw all of the protests in Taksim Square last year in Istanbul, that happened the week we opened here. And it's like 5-second walk down here. So we've had riot police in front of this shack. And somehow, amazingly, this place is working. Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Do you think anybody ever dreamed that I'd be sitting on stage saying Jeddah, Saudi Arabia? Unbelievable busy shack that's just a ton of fun. And when you get there and you say, what the hell are you guys doing in Saudi Arabia? And a woman in traditional dress comes up to me on this night in opening day and says, thank you for bringing this here. No one brings anything here. I can't tell you how much it means to me that you guys will do this. And that's what we're doing. And every one of you who's graduated from the Danny Meyer Company knows this one. You're tired of seeing it, but I pulled it out of my show 10 times and I put it back 10 times, and I'm going to say it anyway, because nothing matters in our company more than this. Everything I just told you, all you smart people can go do. It's really not that hard. But Maya Angelou, who just passed, gave us a great gift of this saying here. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. People will never forget how you made them feel. And I guarantee you, walking out of here today, you will not remember a word any of us said, but you will remember how this day felt, and you will feel good, and that is what matters. We as leaders have one job in our restaurants: create a place and a situation where great players want to do the right thing. Period. That's all we're supposed to do. Create a place where people will make the right decisions. And that's what we do. And let them make them. Go do it. That's what we've done. So where are we headed? I don't know. I'm amazed every day. We pinch ourselves. We are so incredibly thankful that we've gotten to here. I can't tell you where we're going to be next year or the year after. But I will tell you a few projects we're working on. Austin, Texas. So we're going to open our first one in Austin. Everybody who knows Texas knows you better go big if you're going to go. And if you go to Austin, you better not screw it up. And so what do? We hired the coolest architect, Michael Sue, who does all the restaurants in Austin, and he's going to build this restaurant for us opening later this year. We're going to keep growing in the Middle East and in other areas. And this is a cool freestanding shack where we're trying to go where the locals are in Dubai on Jumeirah Beach Road, build something really special there. And the big daddy of them all, Vegas, baby Vegas. MGM came to us, and they decided they were going to build a 20,000-seat arena a block off the Strip. And their inspiration to connect the Strip with the arena was Madison Square Park. They came to us and says, let's do a Shake Shack. And we were, I don't know, Vegas, I don't know, it's going to be so big. We're in construction in this right now. You can't enter through the casino. It's not a casino restaurant. This is sitting on the Strip, and you have to enter through a park. And it's everything that Shake Shack should be, translated to everything Las Vegas is. So we'll let you know if you guys aren't doing anything early next year, maybe pop out. So that's all nice, but this is what it's all about. On here, when Danny set out to do this, did you see anyone say we're going to have 47 Shake Shacks, or here's our unit economics, and this is what it's going to look like for our investors, and let's take over the world? Never, not one of us. It took us 5 years to open the second shack. We have spent 10 years making a series of decisions about when we grow, acting small, working with small artisanal people, continuing to be the kind of employer that we should be. The bigger we get, the smaller we need to act. Places like Sweetgreen are not an accident. They're awesome because they're real, because it started as a tiny little building, and that's what makes it awesome. Shake Shack is organic. It's real. It didn't set out to do what it's now doing, and that is what it's all about. We've spent our lives doing what everyone else is unwilling or unable to do. And I'll close with this. I had many great times working with the Canlis boys, but while they were off in the military saving our country, I was there running the restaurant with their dad. I think the greatest restaurant professional I've ever met, and a guy who, as Brian said earlier, can see the room like nobody else. And I was learning to be a maitre d' back in those days where we used pencil. Anybody remember that? And it was a Saturday night, and I'm doing my Randy Garutti thing, and I'm at table 11, and I'm like, I love you guys. What's going on? You know, how's your experience? Everything's great. And Mr. C is over at the front door on a Saturday night with like 20 people in line out the door getting his ass kicked because I'm over here hanging out, not paying attention. And he taught me a lesson that day. He comes over to the table, grabs me by the pineapple, and he says, there's a phone call for you at the front desk. Takes me into the back, and he says, I'm going to teach you something about the restaurant business right now. Whenever you go in to talk to a table, know how you're getting out. I know how I'm getting out of the stage right now. I just want to say thank you for you guys for being here. And we got one last surprise for you. Shake Shack brought some custard. I don't know if it's here yet, but we'll see. It's something having to do with salt, peanut butter, chocolate, toffee, and more chocolate. So have some fun out there. Thanks, guys.